nevertheless a full squad to choose from for this one. Only one change to the team beaten in midweek by Spurs. Tim Flowers, the most expensive goalkeeper in the country. He returns. He was cup-tied in midweek. He's kept only one clean sheet in his 5 starts, though. Blackburn's left-back, Graham Lassault, here meets up with his old club, and it's impossible to ignore the superb form of Alan Shearer. 12 goals in 15 matches since his return from injury. One of the great debates for Chelsea this season is whether Glenn Hoddle should continue to play as well as manage. A problem resolved for him for the past 3 games. He takes no part again as a player because he's struggling to shake off the effects of flu. Youth very much the order of the day in this team. There's a huge shortage of top-class experience. The only exception, Mal Donaghy. Donaghy, the most capped Northern Ireland outfield player of all time. Excitement and promise aplenty from the front pair, Neil Shipperley and Mark Stein, but Stein yet to open his account since his arrival from Stoke.
I know. Can you see John Smart there? Oh, look at him. Now that's what you call a floor manager. Gets fees to learn a thing from him.
Despite all their recent problems, both these managers insist that they are pleased with the recent level of their performances. Blackburn Rovers' home form in particular has been a little patchy, and they have certainly not been as tight at the back as one would expect of a team hoping to challenge for the championship. But again, Chelsea's problems seem a great deal more serious. One of the lowest goals for counts anywhere in the league, with only 11 so far. Our referee today, Gerald Ashby, and it'll be Blackburn to get us underway. For Blackburn, a win could put them up to 2nd tonight. And although both managers say they're pleased with the level of performances recently, surely for both these clubs the result is the key thing. For Chelsea, an improbable victory, but one that they will be dreaming of, would be enough to take them out of the relegation zone. A repeat here of the opening day fixture. At Stamford Bridge it finished Chelsea 1, Blackburn 2, and this has not been a good ground in recent years for Chelsea. They lost here in February 2-0. One wonders if that's in the back of the minds of some of the Chelsea players, although they are such a new-look bunch that most of the Chelsea starting lineup today played no part in the fixture just 7 months ago. Gallacher with a chance to run early on at the heart of Chelsea defence. Stuart Ripley with time to cross. Mal Donaghy got a half block on it, and it was helped clear by Gavin Peacock. Good first touch from Shipperley to Dennis Wise. And a first touch here for Mark Stein, still searching for his first goal since his big money move from Stoke City. Eddie Newton. Donaghy. And this is young David Hopkin. Very new to life at the top of the English game. Newton's ball forward, it's a chance for Stein to run. And he got some space in the box too. Flowers not forced to make a save on his near post. Mark Stein's 13 goals for Stoke City, but he, like this young kid, David Hopkin, both new arrivals in the big time, and for many of these Chelsea players it's been a season so far where their innocence has been truly exposed. Newell jumping on Johnsen, and he got the jump on him. And Berg forward. Newell came short for it, Johnsen followed him, and Gavin Peacock got a foot in. Stein given to him by Flowers. Hopkin faced by 2, one of them is Dave Batty and the other is Berg. Batty gets a half hold on it, but a good little breakout by this young Scotsman David Hopkin, his first season of full-time professional football. He played as a part-timer for Morton in Scotland. And not only is it a new scene, it's a new position. He was basically a fullback in his days in Scotland. Good throw in too. Chance early for Wise, it just wouldn't come down fast enough. It's a spirited opening by Chelsea. Gareth Hall concedes a free kick, and an early scare for Blackburn in front of their own supporters. Inspired by young Hopkin. Newell, so good at bringing other players into the game. Batty to Saux, Graham Saux against his former club Chelsea. Dennis Wise is the covering player. They went out without a touch. And this the man that every defender in the Premiership knows. When you play Blackburn, if you're going to have a chance, you've got to keep Alan Shearer quiet, and very few are able to do that. Dimitri Kharin in Chelsea's goal, hopeful of a place in the World Cup finals with the Russian squad. Donaghy with the free kick for Chelsea, at home in the centre of defence in midfield, and as today starting at left back. Donaghy. Berg's header out to Ripley. Tim Sherwood handed all the way by Newton, and Berg got it out well to Batty. Great tackle coming in from Wise, but Batty's ball still almost wormed its way through to Shearer. Johnsen, rejuvenated now at Chelsea after missing most of last season, not selected in the main. Berg, one of several Norwegians making their mark in English football. Here's Ripley, that's dangerous, that's Newell. It drops slightly behind him, but he'll feel that maybe it was a good enough service from Stuart Ripley to deserve at least a finish on target. This is Ripley at his best, whipping in crosses, slightly behind Newell, but Newell will be disappointed not to have hit the target. And Kharin in goal was extremely disappointed that Newell was left totally unmarked. So an early scare at both ends. And every sign of this being a bright and open game. The Chelsea philosophy under Glenn Hoddle remaining to keep the play open. Wise, Shearer checking back on him, and Shearer is an extremely strong and battle-hardened forward. Just have a look at the strength of Alan Shearer here. He's dynamite in front of goal, but he's as physical and determined a player as anyone in the league. And then as Wise cartwheeled into touch there. Here's Wise. He can deliver good passes. That's a nice one to Peacock. Shipperley just got a bit tight. There's no foul there. Gerald Ashby lets it go, falls to Wise. There's space all over the place. Blackburn again early on looking very suspect at the back. And this is a good position for Chelsea. The word in the game is that for all their wealth of talent, Blackburn Rovers have problems getting their defence sorted out, and the early evidence here suggests exactly that. We've got Mark Stein over this, Dennis Wise over this. Johnsen's gone in to make life difficult for Flowers. Oh, and it wasn't far off the mark from Stein. Wouldn't have counted though. It may have been Hopkin rushing out late, yes, on the right of your screen. He was the last man out of the box. And he just left it a bit too late. Johnsen leaning on Newell. Free kick Blackburn. Batty it was who got it going quickly. Berg into Newell. Hopkin just got there ahead of Batty. David May won't take any chances. Johnsen this time getting above Newell fairly. Wise tidied it up. Kharin with no problems at all. He's very comfortable on the ground, the goalkeeper for Chelsea. And this is a superb playing surface, and that's going to encourage him. Sinclair with the free kick for Chelsea, another of the young products of the youth system. Chelsea's player of the season last year, in his first year as a senior professional. Now Hopkin, he got away from Berg. Hendry clear. Eddie Newton, good ball from him. Wise. Bright opening from Chelsea, with so many problems over the last 6 or 8 weeks. The club skipper, Dennis Wise, just about the most experienced player out there for them today. And his experience is going to be crucial over the run-up to Christmas. Johnsen forward, Shipperley jumping with Hendry. Saux. That's long at Shearer. Has been kept pretty quiet so far by young Sinclair. And he shut the door well there. Saux with the throw. Hendry down, Sherwood, Batty, Batty again. Superb ball from Batty, Shearer. Got through Johnsen, Newell closed on Sinclair. And it was always going wide from Kevin Gallacher. But the ability to break into space of Alan Shearer caused the problem there. Sinclair blocked off Newell very well. Hendry forward, Shearer. Ripley, again a good header clear from Sinclair, and then Peacock helping it forward. Shipperley did that nicely. Now Hopkin just showed a bit too much of it to his opponent in midfield, but had the strength to get through the challenge. Again Chelsea building well here. Dennis Wise, excellent tackle coming in from the big Scotsman Hendry. He's the rock at the heart of Blackburn's defence. And Wise would have felt that one, I think. Here's Hendry again. That'll surely be too long. But it's easy for Kharin. A keeper who played for 3 different countries in his international career so far. Russia, the CIS and the USSR. Because of all the political upset in his homeland, he has caps for all 3 of them. Aimed at Newell. Johnsen got the second one. The commitment level is high out there. This is a game that really neither side can afford to drop points in. And this could well become a very full-throated battle. Blackburn's free kick. Shearer waits. Tim Sherwood over the ball. And we may see Saux drilling one in with the left foot. Hopkin did well. Saux may just be a bit big for Newell. The other half of one of the most feared partnerships in the top flight in England now, Mike Newell, 5 goals to his name so far, and Dalglish would be happy with the return from both of those two so far this season. King Kenny, one of the all-time great players, his second major managerial job, and by all accounts reasonably satisfied with the level of performances from Blackburn, even if they haven't quite got into a situation where they're dominating any competition. Bit of space around the box for Shearer. Ripley, that's a keeper's ball. That's a good throw out to Wise. Stein. Hendry blocking him off. Wise again. Just showed a bit too much of it to Saux. And Saux was just blocked off in turn by this fellow Wise. Good little battler. Gallacher rather aimlessly forward. Shearer's run had stopped to stay onside. Here's Gallacher again. Hendry looking at Shearer. Sherwood. Ripley took up a good position inside. First time he's really come off his wide position. Saux to Gallacher. Blackburn with plenty forward here. One is Newell. Oh, and it's magnificently struck home, and that's a sweet blow for Saux. He simply devoured the loose ball on the edge against his former club, and what a body blow to Chelsea, his old teammates. It's a simple case of too many gaps around the edge of the box. Newell's knocked down, misses out Ripley, but Saux has pushed on. He's not really picked up, and he hammers it home on his favourite foot. A perfect start to this game for one of the more promising left-sided players in the country. 15 minutes gone then, and Blackburn Rovers have the home advantage. And it's pretty rough justice, it would be fair to say, on Chelsea after a bright beginning. Hopkin down. Now Ripley, faced by Donaghy, but he got through him. Johnsen. Shearer will work Kharin all the way. Blackburn throw. Now from the low angle, we'll just see the sweetness, I think, of the strike here from Saux. Sweet as a nut. Gallacher, faced by Wise. Again, plenty of Blackburn bodies were in there, but Shearer couldn't really get airborne that time. And Mike Newell, who scores them but also provides them. It ain't happy days for Chelsea. Ken Bates, the bearded gentleman with the glasses, Glenn Hoddle, the flu-stricken manager. And one thinks back just 12 months to when Chelsea went second in the championship table this same weekend last year, winning away at Middlesbrough. Different story now. Ripley, Chelsea in big trouble. The confidence visibly draining out of the youngsters once they Donaghy here to keep them afloat for a while. Can they dig in and hold on? Stuart Ripley, great crosser of a ball. Good header clear by Donaghy. Gallacher. Saux. Donaghy completes the clearance, but it's not to anybody in particular as far as Chelsea are concerned. Sherwood tidies up. Saux. Berg. Shearer. Suddenly there's a real zip in the stride for Blackburn. Gallacher. Peacock. Plenty of time then for the man Tim Flowers, expected now to go on to claim the England goalkeeper's spot as his own over the next couple of years. Johnsen's header. Donaghy clear again. Hopkin jumped into Batty a little bit, referee lets it go. Newton, and out wide is Wise. Newton again, Peacock. Donaghy. Chelsea trying to get their own passing game going again. Wise almost slipped it to Stein, he kept it alive for them. Newton and Gareth Hall. Here's Hall again. It's a terrible pass, absolutely terrible pass. 6 or 7 Chelsea players out of position now. Shearer. Newell makes the run around him. Shearer goes alone, then he tries to find Oh! That's the understanding between two of the best in the country, and together they make a formidable partnership. Newell broke into Shearer's space and went away again. Shearer looked up and saw it and found him, and Newell's overhead volley wasn't missing by much. They really do play superbly together. Through the first 20 minutes then, can Chelsea do anything about Blackburn's growing authority? Stein pulled out, the little fella Wise went in, and the big fella Hendry tied it up. Flowers organises, Wise prepares to take the kick, fine taker of a corner. Shipperley kept it for him, and Wise again. Good second cross. Hall. Peacock this time bundled into a little bit. Free kick to Chelsea. England midfield man Batty, or sometime England midfield man, the culprit. Chelsea losing their rhythm visibly. Good strength, good early ball. Newell, Shearer and Ripley to his right. He goes alone. 3 efforts, none of them on target so far. He'll be disappointed with that. This is the third one, and probably the best chance that's fallen Mike Newell's way. And he'll know that he should be doing better than that. Here's Shearer breaking again. There's a great ball out from the back. Good cover from Sinclair. And he earns Chelsea a throw. He's very quick across the ground, young Sinclair. Newell no slouch either, his opponent. It's easy enough for Berg. Blackburn throw. Ripley will leave it. And the same Norwegian defender, Berg, comes into it. Shearer. Free kick, Blackburn. Sinclair on Newell. Hendry, that's a good ball, and they're wide open again, Chelsea. Gallacher. It was probably even a better chance than it seemed to Kevin Gallacher. Now, can Chelsea break out? Wise. Beautiful ball to Hopkin. He took it very nicely as well. Does look a promising player. Just overran it slightly. Peacock. Shipperley couldn't quite get it under control. Batty allowed to break out. Johnsen, as Shearer lost his footing. Hopkin, Stein. Chelsea showing more signs of revival here. Peacock and Gavin Peacock asked Sinclair to make a meaningful save for the first time. Blackburn free kick now though. Newell really starting to prove a handful for young Sinclair. One of his biggest problems is that he has got to learn to keep his emotions under control. He has calmed down a lot, but he did suffer a 9-match suspension when he first broke into the first team. Very promising player. Chelsea believe he's got a future at the top, as long as he can keep his emotions in check. Sinclair clear. Hopkin. Ripley got the wrong side of him. Hopkin got it back. Shows a lot of strength, the youngster. That's not going to be one that Ripley can catch. Many midfield players around the country will tell you that David Batty is wrongly considered to be just a destructive hard worker in midfield, that there's a lot of creativity in his game as well. Ripley forward. The shout from the back was away, and Johnsen obliged by putting it into touch. Ripley. Sinclair clear. Shipperley. Did well. So Chelsea throw. Hall. Stein. Paul. Good touch from Stein. It was well covered. And it almost came back to Stein. And so clear. Shearer. Batty. Now let's see if he can find a quality ball. Not a bad one. Ripley. Chelsea retreating. Donaghy. Hopkin. Again he does well. Ball kept in by Shipperley. Berg. Shearer and Newell both caught offside, I think. And Wise finding plenty of room left side for himself. Paul. Stein. Chelsea again just beginning to show signs of recovering their poise now after the shock of the early goal. Stein. Newton. Hall. That passage of play would really seem to sum up the frustrations of the last month or two for Chelsea, and certainly for their supporters, who see them knocking the ball around very nicely, but sometimes they feel they don't end up going very far. Hendry clear. Gallacher. Sinclair will get there first. He did exceptionally well when he got there. Wise. Stein, sorry. Now Wise. Aimed at Peacock, who got there. Donaghy, Peacock, Shipperley, Peacock. Good ball. Now, can Hopkin get the run? Yes, he can. Good ball in too. And it was well covered by Hendry. Dennis Wise, Chelsea's second corner. First from this side with his right foot. Good ball in. Free kick. Blackburn get the chance to relieve the pressure. On the half hour then, and Blackburn where they would expect to be, in the driving seat. Good home form from Blackburn in the past few weeks. 3 straight home wins before today. But before that, it was rather patchy. Before the arrival of Chelsea, Coventry, Southampton and Spurs all went home beaten. And on that form, the bookmakers locally have Blackburn Rovers 2-1 on to win this game, and Chelsea extreme long shots in a 2-horse race at 6-1 against. But again, the form book tells the story. Chelsea's away form, defeat at Sheffield United, defeat at Leeds, defeat at Manchester City, defeat at Aston Villa, defeat at West Ham before today. 5 straight losses on the road. Ripley. Kharin went back. Shearer. The nervous moments continue. Sherwood maybe feels that he should have picked up the pieces a little better. Shearer does the spade work, just getting a dig on the ball to create the half chance for Shearer, but under pressure of a good challenge, he couldn't control his left-footed shot. Donaghy fouled by Ripley. Free kick, Chelsea. Stuart Ripley, who came into the England squad with the thankless task of trying to provide the ammunition to beat San Marino in England's worst World Cup finale. He helped, but the miracle didn't happen. Now maybe a miracle, or the chance of one, just for a moment, for Chelsea. Stein wheeling away inside the box. It's a good ball in from Peacock. At Stoke City, those balls were sticking for Mark Stein earlier in the season, and he was converting chances like that. But when you're struggling, things tend not to go your way. Berg, rather telegraphed to Donaghy. Hopkin. That's nice to Wise. Hall has gone galloping outside him. Well tidied up by Sinclair and Newton. Again, Chelsea keeping a lot of width in their play. Now Ripley, the wide man for Blackburn. Ball seemed to be out of play. Chelsea throw. The old warrior Donaghy. Been an excellent professional at all his clubs, Luton Town and Manchester United. So Gallacher with lots of space. Chelsea haven't really shut off Gallacher at all in this first half, but maybe a bit long from him. Ripley's the chasing player. Does love to break from his flank inside, Ripley, and when he does that, he's a very powerful runner. Creates another option for Glenn Hoddle to be worrying about. Minutes to half-time then. Blackburn with the lead and with the ascendancy, but once in a while Chelsea just produce a little flash that makes you believe that this lowly position in the league table is nothing that can't be put right with maybe a bit of luck. Johnsen. Stein came short for him. Stein out-jumped by the bigger fella, Berg. Free kick, Blackburn again. Been hard for Gavin Peacock since his arrival from Newcastle, one of their players of the season last year. But a big money purchase in the summer and straight into a struggling side, having left one which has had a glorious run. This is Gallacher, and this is Ripley. Here he goes with Donaghy. Second chance. And it was a good block by Johnsen on Shearer, because Shearer had only one thought in his mind as that volley opportunity arose. Saux. Another Chelsea problem here. Gallacher. Saux went inside him. Created just a bit more space for Gallacher. Newton clear. Should Kharin have caught that one? He got away with it. Shearer, Newell, just overran it. Yet another example of the great understanding developing between those two. And the wry smile tells its own story. Delivered on a plate really for Newell, and it just seemed to go over his first foot, and the second foot wouldn't get there to control it in time. And the chance went begging. There have been one or two half chances in this first half come Mike Newell's way. Donaghy got clouted by Ripley. He still got his header in, but he got a free kick for it. Stein, positions he thrives on, around the edge of the box, back to goal, but just got blocked out by too many blue shirts there. Peacock, Paul joining in from the back. Wasn't a good enough cross. Newell, I think he was actually caught a little bit by Newton. Referee lets it go. Johnsen forward. Wise. Paul's again gone outside him. At the back stick, Flowers went back. And just for a moment there was a danger under that dropping ball. Mark Stein is looking for a corner out of it, but he and Hopkin arrived on the back stick after Flowers had looked to come for it and then went back. Johnsen jumping well there on Shearer. This is Stein looking a bit more lively and more confident now. Hopkin has had a good first half. Great tackle by Berg. And he does possess a good long throw too. Fouled by Johnsen, jumping in on his compatriot there, Berg, the two Norwegians. Johnsen, maybe even at this stage, doesn't feel that a place in the World Cup squad is beyond him by any means. The last couple of his seasons have not been the best in his career. Gavin Peacock, very likeable young fella, and a good prospect, but is having a hard time, as all these Chelsea players are at present. Good ball from Newton. Now Shipperley with lots of space. Can he deliver a good ball? It wasn't a bad one at all. Again, expert clearance from Hendry, right on the 6-yard line. Good ball out though, and lots of room in front of Gallacher, except that the ball just beat him. Rightly applauding the pass to him. And Colin Hendry has just dealt so well with one or two moments of danger in front of his own goal. There he is again. So determined. The big Scotsman now establishing himself in the national squad. So clear. One for Shipperley to chase and hurry. Hendry, but he got there again. No foul by Hall, referee let it go. I think he did acknowledge that he'd climbed all over his man, but Blackburn with possession. Sherwood. Just showed too much of it to Stein. Again, Chelsea showed tremendous determination and spirit not to be overrun. And that's perhaps the most hopeful sign of this first half as far as Glenn Hoddle is concerned. They may be down, but they're not out, this Chelsea team. Well, there may have been a little afters involving Dennis Wise there. Wise is a really combative little player. Collected more than a fair share of bookings, but he was the one done to there, it seemed. Virtually the first time in the game we've had a trainer on the park. Well, you'd never know what Dalglish was thinking, good, bad or indifferent. But his team at least looked like going into the dressing rooms at half-time in control of the game. And Wise, okay. So against Wise, he's got through him too. Danger here. Again, well covered by Sinclair. This time on Newell. Now, can Chelsea hold out in the final minute of the first half? Sherwood. He excels coming on to spare loose change outside the box like that. And had Chelsea gone in 2 down, there would have been apparently no way back, and it didn't miss by much. Kharin may have had it covered. He's excellent in these situations, Tim Sherwood. Was at Norwich and at Watford before that. Always a danger man around the edge of the box. But Chelsea, if they can go in at 1 down, will still have reasons to hope in the second half. Can they hold out? Ripley. It's good. Kharin again punching. Could he have caught that one? Foul to relieve the pressure. Batty on Peacock. We played the 45 in the first half. There hasn't been too many stoppages, and I don't think Gerald Ashby will be allowing too much extra time here. Hopkin on. Gallacher. Shearer breaking free, he's offside. Didn't seem too much doubt about it, although Shearer may have been pointing out that Johnsen at the bottom of your screen had just hung back a little bit. Sure enough, Gerald Ashby has no cause to keep them out there for too long after the scheduled 45 minutes. It's Graham Lasseau whose goal divides the two teams at half-time. A sweet moment for Lasseau against his former colleagues at Chelsea. Blackburn, as expected, have control of the game. Chelsea have got problems, that's clear, but their spirit and determination through this first half means that Glenn Hoddle can find reasons for hope at half-time. Blackburn Rovers 1, Chelsea 0.
Oh, that's why you want him in the team!
Anywhere, everywhere. Neo Sports, game on.
You are watching Neo Sports.
No changes at half-time on the pitch. The only tactical change brought about by Glenn Hoddle is that he's brought himself down from the position in the director's box to take a little closer contact with proceedings on the park from the bench on pitch side. So one wonders if that will bring a change in Chelsea's luck in this second half, and how desperately they need something to go their way. They've only scored 1 goal in the last 7 matches. And they must score in this second half if they are to avoid yet another defeat. Started brightly first half. and then went behind to Graham Lassau's goal. And the longer the half went, the more signs Chelsea showed of actually working their way back into the game. And Colin Hendry, this fella, had one or two anxious moments, just keeping them quiet in front of Blackburn's goal. Ball into Wise, he was caught late by Gallacher. Don't think it was particularly malicious, but it was clumsy. And it hurt. Just got caught as he laid it off. Anyway, Wise okay, and certainly well enough to give his version of what had happened to Gerald Ashby. Terrible days for Glenn Hoddle, a real test of his strength of character. I'm sure he won't be found wanting in that respect. Now Hopkin control that beautifully. The rain just begins to come down at Ewood Park. And it's making it slippy. There you saw somebody slipping right in front of the referee, but the referee was actually watching Eddie Newton retreat very slowly from an offside position. And Sinclair also down in the box, and he'll need treatment. Tower of strength for Blackburn Rovers, Colin Hendry, collector of antiques in his spare time. He and Graham Lassau have started up in that business in a small way. What a good first half this young fella had, Sinclair. And it was Sinclair getting blocked out by the big man Hendry that did the damage, and Hendry is not a man you want to run into if you can possibly avoid him. Flowers to clear his lines for Blackburn. Offside. Shearer and Newell caught between them. I think it was Shearer actually, judging on the position that Johnsen is taking. Hendry again, the clearance, helped by Berg. Shearer down, great knockdown, but ran away from Batty on this surface, which is getting more and more skiddy. Kharin will get there easily. He's very confident coming out to play the ball off the ground. Sinclair won it well. Wise. Stein breaks ahead of him. Shipperley is up there. Shipperley is there as well. Wise into Stein. Chelsea keep it alive nicely. Hopkin using the full width of the park. Newton. Sinclair. But again, they can't work themselves into a position where they're actually hurting Blackburn. They're keeping the ball, but they're not doing damage in the final third of the park. And it breaks down inevitably. Ripley. Now can Blackburn pose a more potent threat? Donaghy helps it clear. Peacock. Hopkin. Chelsea throw. Well seen by Gareth Hall then. And Neil Shipperley, the centre forward for Chelsea, pulled that very sharply there, clutching his back. Donaghy forward. Shipperley again not really putting Hendry under any pressure. It was an easy enough guide back by the Blackburn centre half, but he wasn't really made to go under pressure at all. Shearer on Johnsen. Well played by Johnsen. Beautiful touchdown by Saux. Hendry. Berg. Ripley. Faced by Peacock and by Donaghy. They didn't really double bank and Ripley took advantage of it beautifully. And I don't think Gallacher could quite believe his good fortune when it came through 3 headers. And it did effectively leave Kevin Gallacher with an open target for goal. Donaghy goes to cover the man with the ball and Peacock didn't really cover Donaghy. That meant that Ripley could get the cross in. And I think Gallacher was pretty surprised to see it arrive at him. So much so that he couldn't time his header better. But Ripley did well to take advantage of some slack defending. Shearer down. Newell. Gallacher. Well played. Young Newton. That's what you call a full-blooded tackle. Those two kids probably played a couple of years together in Chelsea's reserves. Newton and Saux a while back. Batty gets the better of Newton there. Sherwood. Home crowd getting behind Blackburn now. They want the second goal, which would surely give Blackburn the cushion to take the points. Stein fouled. Donaghy. Peacock. May. Donaghy. Hopkin. Shipperley looking sprightly again. Hopkin just offside. There's the proof of it. Great positioning by the referee, who can afford to laugh. He got hammered by the cross and was small at the back. Sherwood with time and space. Newell. Hendry. Faced by Stein. Hendry again. Newell just being the target man to perfection. Ripley. Berg. Sherwood to Shearer. And Johnsen, by and large, has done a good job on Shearer so far. International colleague, or at least in terms of being in the squad alongside Henry Berg. Can Berg deliver a good one? Kharin looked at it and went back, and Gareth Hall tied it up. Blackburn's first corner of the second half then. Ripley. It's into the danger zone. Shearer. Good near post routine. Shearer pulling off the post. I just wonder if we may be about to see a change here for Chelsea, and sure enough, even as I mentioned it, Tony Cascarino prepares to enter. I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that Neil Shipperley just clutched his back and pulled up quite sharply a few minutes ago, and that may have been the sign for the entrance of Cascarino. Shipperley has worked extremely hard and looks one for the future, but Tony Cascarino brings plenty of experience and know-how to this Chelsea front line. He's a very direct sort of player, and hasn't had a bad season so far. Cascarino really lost the whole of last season to injury, and a goal or two from Tony Cascarino would certainly lift Chelsea and also put Cascarino right in the driving seat for the Republic of Ireland's World Cup starting lineup, given the long-term injury to Niall Quinn. So the incentive for Cascarino now, both at club and international level, could not be greater. Well won back by Eddie Newton. Paul. Chelsea might want to see a little bit more of him joining in further forward. Wise. Just delayed a little too long. Shearer ran off it. Newell missed it. It's just a little more difficult since half-time, I think, because of the rain which has been sweeping in across Ewood Park, and it's just made the surface that little bit more skiddy. Newton forward. Hendry with plenty of time back to Flowers. Donaghy well up above Ripley. Sherwood. Ripley. Donaghy came, and Ripley just got away from him. Now with space, Ripley. This is where Blackburn can really explode into the box, but Sinclair again does a superb job of covering on Newell. Ripley from the right-hand side this time, still with the right boot. And eventually Chelsea get it clear. Looked a bit nervy for a minute. Donaghy calmed the nerves. Gallacher with the long one. Well, it looked like it was well concealed. Berg. The Saux. Bit telegraphed. Sinclair, oh, he'll be very disappointed with that. He's put his side in real trouble, and then trying to make up for it. Yeah, you can see it written all over his face. It's his mistake, and he was going to do everything he could to stop a goal resulting from it. Gallacher broke free. Showed good athleticism to get back in the act, Sinclair, but didn't get to the ball, got to the man. Sherwood over this, Batty over this, Shearer over this. Kharin waits on his line, it's Shearer, straight into the middle of the wall. Batty. Now, can Chelsea break out? They need to move the ball quickly, they didn't do it quickly enough. It's still very much a contest at Ewood Park, and the longer it goes, the greater the frustrations will grow for Blackburn. They have the territorial dominance, but there's always the chance that Chelsea could break out and grab one. Unless, of course, Blackburn can get the second goal to really put themselves in charge. Sinclair superbly covered again. And he got away with another terrible mistake, giving the ball away subsequently. That's something that young player's got to work on. Newell. Gallacher. Shearer. This is home territory for Shearer. It's a magnificent tackle by Gareth Hall to stop him. He was all on odds-on favourite there to make it two. Saux. Faced by Wise. Good battle it's been between those two today. Cascarino got a piece of it ahead of Hendry. There'll be more physical presence around up front for Chelsea anyway now. Peacock's very angry with Hendry. Here it is again. It's a bit high, late and clumsy by Hendry. It's been a hard season so far for Gavin Peacock. Very highly thought of around the game as a future England player. And the frustrations all seeming to boil over there. Delightful young man. Glenn Hoddle says he's got a wonderful attitude to football and to life in general. And they're the villain of the hour, Hendry. Now Chelsea perhaps about to make a second change. Glenn Hoddle and Peter Shreve to his right there. They've got to do something to try to save this game. They've played one ace in Cascarino. We wait to see. That's a good knockdown from Cascarino. Stein and Hendry. No foul. Johnsen. No handball. Kharin. Pretty calm play by Johnsen. Sinclair back to Kharin once more. Cascarino, and this time Hendry's the man who gets bundled off it. Shows you the kind of more physical presence that Cascarino can offer Chelsea. Here's the incident that had Blackburn fans claiming handball a couple of minutes ago. It seemed clearly to strike Johnson's arm, but the old question is whether the hand strikes the ball or whether the ball strikes the hand. Ripley, great ball at Sherwood. Well cleaned up by Sinclair. Still Blackburn look dangerous, look most likely to score, but can't put the ball in the net a second time. Corner. Peacock looks out of the near post. Blackburn leading on corners and on goals, but not by the margin that's comfortable enough. Ripley in. Always going to be Kharin's, but it was a sharp reflex header by Hendry. Well delivered by Ripley. That's what England boss Graham Taylor brought Ripley into the England team to do against San Marino, deliver those sort of crosses. That's his strength. Now Stein got away from Berg and May, and no foul. Still a Chelsea throw-in. Stein's very aggrieved about it. Seemed to be bundled up, but quite clearly. Hall, good ball that time. Stein, and May quite happy to concede a corner. And that small band of travelling Chelsea supporters have another little reason to raise a hopeful cheer. Dennis Wise with the corner. It's a good ball in too. Good clearing header. Helped clear by Gallacher. Hopkin. Newton. Johnsen. Cascarino. Good ball in. Stein. Once or twice, Mark Stein's first touch has just let him down a little bit today, but still Chelsea with hope. Wise blocking the attempted clearance by Saux. Whose ball is it? It's a Chelsea ball. And still Chelsea showed tremendous determination to work their way back into the game. But once or twice the ball has slipped away from Mark Stein in promising positions. Peacock. Climbed all over by Batty, but Peacock's cleverness got him free. Cascarino, Newton, Donaghy, Hopkin with a good position. Now, what are his options here? Berg closed them off for him. Excellent tackle. Had a good game today. The Norwegian, Batty. Gallacher, faced by Hall. He'll run him. Dennis Wise comes to help. It's pretty wasteful from Blackburn's point of view. Had plenty of time to get his run sorted out and get his angles right, Kevin Gallacher. And then he doesn't ask Kharin to make a save of any description. Cascarino tangling with Hendry, and again he's strong enough to knock him over. That's something that's a new feature of the game in the second half. Nearly 16,000 at this game. One of Blackburn's better home attendances for league matches this season. They've been averaging around 13.5. Donaghy's cross ball in, Flowers easily. But that improved attendance, interestingly enough, coming out of the time of the year when traditionally football attendances drop off in the weeks up to Christmas. People have other things on their minds, but this is a good attendance today. And you would have thought that the Blackburn supporters like more than they dislike in this performance so far. But Chelsea, just every now and then, show the signs that they are not out of it yet. Donaghy. Peacock, Donaghy. Faced by Ripley. Cascarino kept it alive. That's a better ball into Stein. He just straight offside. He'd probably be reflecting ruefully on the difficulties of adjusting from being a very good player in the first division to being a good player in the top flight. It's a big jump, and Mark Stein has had his problems so far. Shearer, faced by Johnsen. Corner. Blackburn have won a succession of corners in this second half. And the thing on Alan Shearer's mind is a goal. sorry to fall again at Ewood Park. It'll be pretty much like home conditions for Dmitry Kharin, the Russian. Cold and wintry. Holds no fears for him. Hopkin is the player with the problem. Looked as though he may have been stamped on the hand there, or on the wrist. At any event, the other substitute, Craig Burley, is warming up and looks to be getting ready to come on. Good young player, Burley. Scotland youth and under-21 international. Indeed, the most capped Scottish youth player of all time. The other Scotsman out there, Hopkin, gets the treatment. Hoddle and Shreve in deep thought, deep conversation. Kenny's team still have the lead. Good backroom staff Dalglish is assembled as well here. Ray Harford, just out of your shot on the left-hand side. He's also brought Tony Parks here. Asa Hartford was the top player. He's now in charge of the reserve team. And Jim Furnell, long ago the Arsenal goalkeeper, he's now the youth coach. And with a bit of protective bandaging, Hopkin will carry on. He won't want to go off at any event, one would think. He can possibly keep going. Kharin with the goal kick then. As we resume. Newton under it. Cascarino. Won a fair share of possession so far. Peacock, lovely turn. Again he gets caught. Just flashes in the last 15 minutes or so of the qualities of Gavin Peacock. He's the man who could fire Chelsea up. Hall. Newton. Given away. Hopkin. Cascarino breaks left. Peacock joins in. Wise is right. Here's Stein. Can he get a shot on target? Chelsea's best moment, Mark Stein's best moment, but not good enough. Faced by the excellence of Flowers. Peacock, as I thought, becoming more dangerous as the game goes on. Stein hasn't really created an angle to cause Flowers problems with the shot. Now Batty, Newell and Shearer arriving in the box. Johnsen saw it well. Ripley. Berg. Newell. Berg continued his run into the box. Newell. Not really been Mike Newell's day in front of goal. Offside, Newell. Johnsen just stepped up in time. At least as far as Chelsea were concerned. And Johnsen gets Chelsea going forward. They look at Cascarino. And they are in a throw-in. Things are looking a little brighter for Chelsea all the time here at the moment. It looks as though Craig Burley will make an entrance very shortly. Donaghy. Newton. Sherwood can't get his foot in. Johnsen. Breaks down again for Chelsea. And one or two more anxious murmurings around the terraces from the Blackburn supporters. 15 minutes left. The game still in the balance. Cascarino jumping with Hendry, and that is what you call an old-fashioned aerial clash. Free kick Chelsea. Sure enough, it's time for Craig Burley, and it's one young Scotsman for another. David Hopkin, who's had an excellent game, makes his way off. And Craig Burley comes on, so we wait to see what tactical alterations Chelsea will make here. Burley basically a fullback or defender, but can play in midfield as well. But Glenn Hoddle is adept at making tactical switches. Who knows where he'll put him. Comes down for Gareth Hall, and he almost made himself a Chelsea hero. Well played indeed. Stein, good ball in too. It was easy enough for Flowers, but Chelsea are very much in this game at the moment. Here's the initial moment of danger. Big man Hendry got the clearing header. Wasn't a good header, and Hall got a hold of that. It may have been Graham Lasso's left boot that saved Blackburn. Batty. Berg into Shearer. Johnsen didn't foul him, but may have conceded a throw-in. In fact, it was a free kick. But the linesman's suggestion, I feel there. Newell waits. Hendry's come forward again here. Saux and Sherwood both over it. It's Lasso's left foot again. Kharin waits. Doesn't need to make a save. Well, Blackburn have certainly had their problems second half. It's quite remarkable, really, that they are so well placed in the table, and their form over the run of the season so far is very good, but still the majority of informed opinion in the game in England questions whether Blackburn Rovers have really got what it takes to be in the running for winning things. Shearer offside. Kharin running to get that time, not Chelsea's friend at the moment. Ball. That's a great ball. Burley, can he keep it? Just overrun. So a fresh pair of legs and a fresh angle of attack provided here by Craig Burley. Looks like he's been asked to play right midfield and break forward, and he broke through and past Saux here. His first touch just ran it out of play. It's a superb pass by Gareth Hall. That's dangerous by Wise, but Kharin is out quickly enough. Great jump by Saux. Hall. That's given away. Into the last 10 minutes then. Chelsea still looking dangerous. And the unease grows all the time around Ewood Park, the home faithful. They've contained Chelsea easily enough for most of the way, but in the last 10 minutes, Chelsea have looked more dangerous than at any time in the match. Hall. Newell down, great header down. Gallacher is overhit again, and again there was an offside. He's had a difficult afternoon against Johnsen, Alan Shearer. Chelsea rearguard have stuck to their guns. Craig Burley's got an elbow in the face. The topic of a great moment in the English game this weekend after Gary Mallett of Spurs was hammered into by John Fashanu. Doesn't look as though there's any serious damage in this case, thankfully. Glenn still hopes Burley's okay. Cascarino waits for the free kick, and there have been plenty of free kicks in this game so far. Cascarino, it's a good header down. Newell showed too much of it to this good young player, Sinclair. Ball. Well played by Gallacher. Ball again. Burley down to feed Hall. Stein's made a little attack on this, but always flowers. Cascarino showing plenty of appetite for the fight there. It's not a bad ball from Hendry, but Blackburn's balls to runners in this second half have just taken up pace in most occasions off this skiddy surface, and it's made their breaking style a little more difficult to have any effect. Ripley, he's the one who carries it for them. Too many yellow shirts in the way. Shearer again found the yellow wall. Wise's ball out, it's a good one. Stein. David May's the cover-up. Can Stein get in the box? He's done that. And then the old story of frustration takes over. Good tackle, Johnsen. Wise, Peacock. Burley, good ball. Stein. Wise. Another good ball. Hall. That's not bad either at Cascarino. Chelsea are working extremely hard at this, and you must give them credit for that. This time it's Saux, and he's onside. Now Chelsea have been turned, they're exposed here. They needed Kharin, and Kharin provided. Wise. Lots of space for Peacock. Roared on by the Chelsea travelling contingent. Saux. Gallacher did well. Brings in Ripley. Kharin's ball, well claimed again by the big Russian keeper. Dennis Wise, the captain of Chelsea. Lovely ball too. Batty. Ripley. 5 minutes left for Chelsea to save this game. There have been plenty of signs of that possibility. Kharin didn't get a hold of that at all, but it's the luck of the bounce. Shearer. It's been a pretty frustrating afternoon. There have been a lot of stoppages, and the two linesmen have worked overtime. Indeed, look at that 37 in total, almost evenly spread. Majority of Blackburn's for offside. That's a high count, and it's made it a rather stop-start encounter in that way. Donaghy to get Chelsea going forward. Inside the last 5, Cascarino waits and Johnsen gets it. Stein, Burley, Newton. And Newton did very well to collect from Batty there. Extremely well played. Ball. That's dangerous at Stein. Offside. Just crept the wrong side of him. Gareth Horde has played a couple of excellent balls into Stein in the last 5 minutes. Free kick number 38 then. Peacock, Cascarino had come in behind him, maybe he didn't get a call or didn't hear it. Batty, Shearer, Ripley, good ball to Newell. A great tackle by Sinclair, so tremendous strength there to come through and take that ball out. Paul. Wise tangling with Batty, free kick. Ball just ran away from Burley. Shearer. And again, an excellent covering tackle from a Chelsea player. There are so many things about these young Chelsea players to admire. But the lack of goals and consequent lack of results puts them under tremendous pressure. Newton. Well played, just caught. Sherwood agreed that he was penalised there. But it is a free kick and it's an important moment for Chelsea. Johnsen has gone forward. Cascarino waits, he'll be the target perhaps. Hendry goes with him. Stein, how he wants a chance. Any sort of a chance. Comes down from Burley. And when it's not going for you, it just won't go for you. That was Chelsea's moment. And the big bulk of Colin Hendry saves Blackburn. There have been 1 or 2 important blocks. The Saux got one earlier. Even more important then was Hendry's, because that was goal bound from Craig Burley. Still, Chelsea don't give up the fight. Into the last minute. It won't come down for a Chelsea player in the box. Flowers has the chance to relieve the pressure. But how important that block by Colin Hendry can prove. Newton, good header forward. Ripley. Blackburn throw. Newell. Well played, Kharin. He was always favoured to get there, but wouldn't you know that Shearer was creeping in behind him. We're into injury time now. Chelsea need to get the ball down the other end of the park. A Blackburn goal here would surely finish this. Gallacher. Kharin came again. That's a good punch. Ripley. Cascarino, not clear. Donaghy, not clear. Sherwood. Hall clear. Super ball to Ripley. Faced by Johnsen. It's dangerous. Wouldn't you just know it? The leading goal scorer of his generation ends this as a contest and eases all the fears of Blackburn Rovers supporters and cruelly inflicts total frustration on Chelsea. They've kept Alan Shearer quiet for fully 90 minutes. And even that isn't good enough on the day. Ripley's excellent cross, one of many from him. You just can't keep Alan Shearer quiet. You can do as well as Chelsea have done today against Shearer, and he'll still come up and score against you. It's all over now. There could even be time with this fella around for it to become a very easy win for Blackburn Rovers on paper. When in fairness to Chelsea, it's been anything but second half. Cascarino down to Burley. Gareth Hall. Sinclair. What a good game this young player has had. Peacock, his touch let him down. And then Donaghy's let him down. Batty to Gallacher. He'll just run down the clock. We're into the 4th minute of injury time here. Newton. It's easy enough for Flowers, no problem. Well, surely they know the game is up here, and it's back to the drawing board tomorrow, back in London, and it'll be another unhappy trip back home to London from Blackburn for Chelsea. Overzealous is how you'd call that challenge by Sinclair on Batty. Newell. Johnsen, who's hardly put a foot wrong against Shearer today, but it's a cruel way to be beaten. Into the dying moments of this game then, the Saux, Gallacher, and it may well be the last action we see here. Gerald Ashby looking at his watch for about the 5th time. Batty. Well played, Kharin. And sure enough, with that, Gerald Ashby draws a halt to proceedings. What a frustrating day it's been for Chelsea and for Glenn Hoddle. He's so highly thought of by everybody in the English game, but his experience will tell him that when things are not going your way, football can be a very, very cruel occupation. An early goal by Graham Saux against his old club, courtesy of a knockdown by Mike Newell. Chelsea fought so bravely, led in spirit by their skipper Dennis Wise, before the clinical marksman and the best man in the English game, Alan Shearer, made it goal number 14 so far. It all means that Glenn Hoddle's Chelsea have collected only 1 point from the last 27 available. It's been an uneasy performance by Blackburn, good things and bad things, but they go 3rd in the table, and they condemn Chelsea to another long, lonely trip back down the motorway. It looks like a bleak midwinter. Blackburn Rovers 2, Chelsea 0.